Let's duck back up to Queensland now and catch up with the LNP Senator for the great state of Queensland. That is Amanda Stoker, who joins us live from Brisbane. Good to talk to you again, Amanda. And the opposition leader, Anthony Albanese, has been in town today.
He has, but that hasn't prevented him from doing his usual, hiding from questions, gaffe after gaffe, avoiding scrutiny, directing journalists to focus on his shadow treasurer and leave him alone. This is really very strange behaviour from someone who claims to be ready after, 26 years as a Member of Parliament, to be ready for leadership, to be making all of these mistakes like he's on his L plates.
Yeah, I should point out, of course, he did do an interview after he arrived in Queensland with Kieran Gilbert, but I think he was shamed into that by the reaction to his antics with the media today. And look, we've asked Anthony Albanese throughout the campaign for an interview and haven't got one. There's one day left, I suppose. Tell us about the unemployment numbers. Those of us who have been around for a while would just think that there's so many times Australians thought we'd never see unemployment this low. It's kind of been the holy grail to get unemployment below 4%. Why aren't we out celebrating in the streets?
Look, we really should be. This isn't just a good result. It's an extraordinary result. The lowest unemployment this country has seen since 1974, since before I was born, since before my parents were married. This is a very, very big deal, because what we know is that employment is the key to people reaching their potential. Employment is the key to people being able to afford the necessities of life and to aspire to their dreams. And at employment rates like we are seeing now, more Australians than ever in our history are in work, more women than ever are participating in the workforce, and more young people are achieving their dreams. This is at the heart of what a Liberal national government delivers. Opportunity for all through the dignity of work. And that's something that none of the fluffy words that you get from Labor can replicate.
There is just nothing better. There is just nothing better than a job, and there's nothing worse than not being able to get a job. And Australians have seen that over many decades. So this is just such good news, even for old people like me, because you're seeing young people and young people confidently getting work and starting their careers. It is great news for the country. Amanda, I've got to ask you about your Senate race there in Queensland. I don't think there's going to be much change in the lower house in Queensland. It's not going to be the epicentre of the election that it was last time around. But that Senate race is fascinating. A lot of people watching this program would love to see you, James McGrath and Matt Canavan all return to the Senate. But you're in the third spot, and you're going to have Campbell Newman and Pauline Hanson fighting over a spot with you. How are you dealing with that battle? How difficult is it going to be for you?
Look, I expect Pauline will be elected, and I expect that the contest for the last position in the Queensland Senate race will be, in essence, between myself, Clive Palmer, Campbell Newman and the Greens. The risk that Queenslanders face, which makes this an interesting race, is that if there's fragmentation of the support on the broad right of politics that doesn't necessarily come back with preferences, you could face the very unpalatable situation that nobody from that centre-right is elected, and instead what Queenslanders get is a Green. In fact, mathematically, that's what's happened every time there's been fragmentation on the right. And so those who are broadly of that centre-right thinking need to confront something really serious at this election, and that is, do they want to have a flutter with a minor party, knowing that makes the election of a Green more likely than ever? Or do they want to go for somebody who is prepared to represent their beliefs, not just by throwing stones on the outside of the rooms that matter, but within them, and speaking up for the things they care about, making those views mainstream in the rooms that matter? And that's the proposition I can deliver that none of those other candidates can.
Now, there's something else that you couldn't publicly advocate for, but supporters of yours and supporters of the LNP in Queensland could always elect to vote under the line and go number 1, Amanda Stoker, and McGrath and Canavan 2 and 3, and that would probably help you as well. But I know you wouldn't advocate that.
Well, look, I'm a team player, and if people are prepared to support the LNP in the Senate, that will be great. But of course, how to vote cards show how you can do it, although every person's vote is up to them.
Well, thanks for joining us and good luck on Saturday, Amanda.
Thanks, Chris.
Amanda Stoker, this is the worry about this election. There are some people who are really important for this country, really important for our parliament, who are facing the fights of their lives. And there are some of them that I'm prepared to say right up front, I would prefer to see them remain in parliament. One of them is Amanda Stoker. The other one we're going to speak to after this break. He is the Treasurer of the Nation, Josh Frydenberg.